The night was unusually quiet in the city, the kind of silence that feels heavy, like the world itself is holding its breath. Ethan Cole, once a celebrated young CEO, now stood on the rooftop of his nearly bankrupt company's building. He wasn't there to admire the skyline. He was there because the weight of failure had become unbearable. But then, he heard soft sobs. At the far end of the roof, a young woman, barely more than a girl, was standing at the ledge, her trembling hands clutching her belly. And then Ethan noticed, she was pregnant. "Don't jump!" Ethan's voice cracked, not with authority, but with desperation. The girl startled, turning her tear-streaked face toward him. "You don't understand," she whispered. "I have no one. No money. No future. I can't bring a child into this." Ethan's chest tightened. The words pierced deeper than she could ever know. Because in that moment, he saw himself, not as a CEO, not as a man who had lost millions, but as a scared, broken soul standing on a cliff's edge. Slowly, he walked toward her. "I understand more than you think," he said. "I'm about to lose everything. My company, my dream, maybe even my home. But if you jump, we both lose something we can never get back." She looked at him, eyes wide with disbelief. "Why do you care? You don't even know me." And then Ethan said the words that changed both of their lives. "Because I know what it feels like to believe you're worthless. And I refuse to let someone else believe that lie." He reached out his hand. Hesitant. Gentle. For what felt like forever, she stared at it. Then, just as her knees buckled, she grasped it. Ethan pulled her into his arms. She sobbed into his chest, and for the first time in months, he felt purpose. Hours later, in a quiet diner, the girl introduced herself as Maya. She told him about how she'd been abandoned by her boyfriend, kicked out by her parents, and left with nothing but the child growing inside her. Ethan listened. Really listened. Something no one had done for him either. When she finished, she whispered, "Why did you save me? What do you expect in return?" Ethan smiled softly. "Nothing. But maybe saving you saved me too." Weeks passed. Ethan helped Maya find a small apartment. He dipped into the little money he had left to make sure she had food, clothes, and doctor's visits. It wasn't much, but it was everything he could give. And then came the twist neither of them saw coming. One morning, Maya walked into Ethan's office with a man by her side. The man was tall, gray-haired, and carried himself with quiet authority. "Maya," Ethan said in surprise. "Who's this?" The man extended his hand. "I'm Robert Hayes, Maya's uncle, and the chairman of Hayes Global." Ethan froze. Hayes Global was a multi-billion-dollar corporation, one that had the power to make or break companies overnight. Maya smiled through tears. "I never told you who my family was. I was too ashamed. But when you helped me without asking for anything, I knew I had to tell my uncle. He needs to meet men like you." 2 months later, Ethan's struggling company received a massive investment. Not a bailout, but a partnership. Robert Hayes told him, "The world doesn't just need brilliant CEOs. It needs leaders with compassion. Maya told me what you did that night. I want to stand behind a man who values people more than profits." The night Ethan first heard Maya crying on that rooftop, he thought his life was over. But saving her didn't just give Maya and her baby a future, it gave Ethan one too. Final message. Sometimes the people we save turn out to be the very lifeline we needed ourselves. And when kindness feels like the weakest choice, it often becomes the most powerful one. Because true success isn't measured in money, but in the lives we choose to lift up when they're about to fall.